Hey guys. Ew, I didn't like the way I started that. Okay. Okay. I'm here. I'm just trying to get the angle so I don't look fat. Cause yeah. Anyway, I don't have body dysmorphia, guys. I just hate myself. Anyway, my dog's looking at me because she thinks I'm weird. I'm supposed to be doing my homework right now, but the video's not loading because my health teacher, because I have online health, I think she's genuinely so old she doesn't realize, or her assignments are so old she doesn't realize some of this stuff doesn't even work anymore. And it's like, eh. Anyway, I haven't posted in a month because my movie came out. Yay. So I honestly didn't really know what to do. Like, I have a routine where I try to post like a video every month, because yeah, but I didn't have any more like ideas. And I actually do have something here I could use for now, so we can do that. So we're gonna be rating, not ranking. I know the difference now. Rating my interaction with boys/men, and most of these are boys. So because real men wouldn't act like this. I don't know. I've never been in a relationship before. So, number one, I'm not going to name drop anybody. I just have the names in my notebook so I know who I'm talking about, but I'm not actually name dropping anybody. So, one time when I was in middle school, in 8th grade, I was in this math class, and there was this guy, we can name him Bob. Let's just name him Bob. Thunderbolts? Bob from Thunderbolts? Yo, I love that guy. He's so cool. I don't understand the whole people being like, wow, he's so hot. I don't think he's hot. I just think he's cute. Like, he's a little cutie patootie. I mean, I love Louis Pullman. I think he's really silly, but I don't find him attractive. Anyway, so yeah, this kid Bob. That's what we're gonna name. That's what we're gonna name him. That's not his name, but that's what we're gonna use, so we don't get confused. So he was really weird. That's a crazy way to start. I'm just kidding. He was a normal kid. He was just a little funky. I had 2 classes with him, I believe. I had 2 or 3. 2. I had math, and then I had science with him. And we never really talked, but in my science class we did start talking, because one time we sat in the same table. He once asked, how do you say peanut butter in Spanish? And nobody was answering him, and I felt bad. And I was like, it's crema de cacahuate. And he was like, yeah, it's that. And then after that, we just started talking. Not like that, just in a nice way, the way you talk to a peer, just to pass the time, just to feel like you're not completely by yourself in that class, right? Because I couldn't stand the kid. He was annoying. I think people did think I had a crush on him, but that's because I'm a really nice person, and sometimes people mistake my niceness for having a crush on them, and that's not true. Anyways, if people ask me for pencils or pens, I will give it to them, the pens or the pencils. And a lot of the times they don't return the stuff to me, and I'm okay with that, because I'm afraid of confrontation. Anyway, so yeah, he just and he'd always ask me for help with his homework, because he wasn't dumb, guys. He was just a little slow. And yeah, so one time in my math class, he sat behind me, it was in rows of 2, there were 2 desks, and I don't know how to explain that. Anyway, so I sat in front of him, okay, so here's the 2 chairs, and then the 2 chairs, so that's our seating arrangement. I sat here, and then he sat there. Okay, so do you guys like my calculators? Anyways, sorry. So I'm supposed to be on a field trip right now, and instead I'm at home because I got my period and it really hurt, so that sucks. Anyway, whatever. I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted. So we were doing work, and he was asking me for help, and I was like, oh, okay, I'll help you because I'm a nice person. And I was helping him, and then he just I explained it to him, and then I was waiting there just to see if he needed more help, if he needed more explanation, because again, I'm a nice person. And this kid looks up. Oh wait, that's the wrong interaction. Oh wait, that's the wrong story. We'll go back to the other story. We'll come to the other story. I just realized I wrote a completely different story on here than what I'm telling you right now. Anyway, so whatever. He looks at me because he sees that I'm still there, staring at him, and he goes, "Get a boyfriend." Excuse you? I could not. I don't like you. like that at all. I don't even like you in general. I was just being nice. And I just went, and I just turned around because I was like, ew, I don't like you like that. First of all, you're short and ugly. He was a little shorter than me, and I'm pretty short myself. And he was just like, oh my goodness, this is gonna sound really mean, but he had braces, and like, I don't know, the braces just made his lips look really huge, and I don't, whatever. Anyways, now he got a growth spurt. I mean, it's been like, what, 4 years? He got a growth spurt. Yeah, and he's like tall now, and he's on the wrestling team. But apparently he has anger issues, which honestly he had in middle school. But yeah, and yeah, that was I rate that a 3 out of 5. It wasn't that bad. Honestly, I look back at it and it was really funny, because how big is your ego that you think I'm interested in you? Just because I was nice to you and helped you with your homework, and because I let you borrow pencils. And actually, one time, I did give him a pack of pencils. I didn't buy it for him. Like, my mom used to work at Big Lots when that was still a thing. And they would, like, have, like, a lot of clearance stuff. And there was, like, pencils, like, whenever back to school they would sell. And then if they didn't sell all of them, then they'd put them on clearance. And my mom would buy them. Because, you know. And, I'll be back. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is what a turn of events. Anyway, I had this whole situation I had to go take care of with my friend. I mean, I didn't actually leave the house; it was through text, but still. Anyway, so my mom bought these pencils, and like I gave a pack to this kid because I knew he never had any pencils, and I was like, "Here, don't lose them," and then he lost them. So, boys, am I right? They're really useless. Anyway, so yeah, I give that rating like 3 out of 5. It wasn't that bad. It was just like, seriously. Anyway, another interaction with that kid in that same math class. This one time, this kid, I don't know what he was doing. I think he was annoying me, and I think I told him to, like, shut up or something. I was like, shut up. And then this little brat goes to, like, he yells out our teacher's name. He's like, Sarai's being mean to me. And I honestly got a little bit scared because I was like, oh my goodness, I've never gotten in trouble for being mean to someone ever in my entire life. And do you want to know what the teacher said? Sarai would never do that. I had gotten myself such a good like reputation in that class with that teacher that I didn't get in trouble for telling him to shut up. And I was so happy about that. So I gave that one a 3 out of 5 because it was a little bit scary, but it ended up being 5. Fine. Yeah, and number 2. I actually at one point in my life I had a guy friend. Which I normally don't have because men scare me. And this kid, like, we became friends, like, at the end. The thing is, I've known him since elementary school. But we became friends at the end of middle school, like, at the end of 8th grade. Because he was friends with my old friend, the girl I used to be friends with, you know, that I had a whole podcast with. Yeah, so, when I used to be friends with her, right? And, yeah, so he was friends with this. Let's name this kid. It's another basic name. Let's just go. Should we use Bill? Let's name him. No, because I actually know a William. Not personally, but I do know a guy named William. Let's, what's a lame name? Let's go with like Xavier. I don't know any Xaviers. Let's name him Xavier. And, my stomach really hurts, guys. So, yeah, this Xavier kid, like, was friends with my old friend, right? And then, okay. What was I talking about? Right, so I was, like, we became friends, and then freshman year I had a class with him, and then everyone thought we were dating, which was really gross, because I did not like that kid like that, and also, I thought he was gay. I still think he's gay. But, anyway... So I was, like, really close friends with this kid. The problem is, he was really weird. And, like, he had, like, problems. I don't know why I said that's so Californian. I really went, he had problems. Like, oh, my God. Anyway, no, sorry. Yeah, he was, like, I don't know. And he just, like, he was very aggressive with me. Like, he'd annoy me. He'd, like... I don't know, he'd, like, shove me around. He would treat me like he would treat his guy friends, like, his, like, friends. And I'm just like, I'm not a guy though, so why are you treating me like that? Like, I get it, you know, we're cool like that. And actually, I would prefer you treat me like that than pull the whole, I have a crush on someone, you know them really well. That never happened to me. Thank goodness with that kid, right? And because also I thought he was gay. I don't know. He didn't like that. I thought that. And honestly, I mean, I get it, right? Like, he's not gay. And I mean, it's not a bad thing, right? But, like, still. So he would just be, like, really annoying with me. And he'd get, like, really aggressive. And he was just really weird. And, I mean, and then sophomore year, we were still, like, friends. And we had another class together. We had drama 2 together. And he started hanging out with this senior at that time. We were sophomores. This guy was a senior. And this guy was one of those, like, oh, I'm a Sigma male. I'm an alpha. You know, that type of stuff. And he was really weird. Like, very much, like, it's like these type of guys that are like, my favorite movie's American Psycho. I'm literally Patrick Bateman. Like, please stop talking. You missed the point of American Psycho. I haven't seen American Psycho, but the moment that I know that a woman directed that film, I know you missed the point of American Psycho. Now, if a man said their favorite movie was La La Land, that's a completely different story because that one's actually scary. Anyway, so, I got that from one of my friends. I don't know. Whatever. And, so yeah, he started hanging out with this kid, and he started changing. Like, he became like this, like, yeah, I'm an alpha male type of guy, and like, I was like, ew, gross. Ugh. And he started just acting really different. And some days he would literally just like ignore me, wouldn't talk to me, just like as if I wasn't there. And then other days he would talk to me, and then he was just still very like aggressive. Like, he'd like hit me, like not like hit me, but like he would like. Should I have filed a restraining order against this kid? Maybe. Like, he wouldn't, like, hit me, but sometimes he'd, like, punch me in the arm. And sometimes it would hurt because he's a guy and he was starting to go to the gym. And I was like, ow. And then, like, he'd, like, you know when, like, someone, like, hits you in the back of your knee while you're standing and your knees buckle? He'd do that to me, and then it would just be annoying. So then, like, I retaliated, obviously, because, I mean, not entirely. I did trip him one time. That was funny. Really sad, though, because he hit me after that. He punched me slightly. Anyway, and then, like, one time, like I said, he'd, like, go, like, a week without talking to me, and then one time when we were rehearsing for our play, I had to do, like, a scene with him and, like, other cast members, and one time when we were backstage, he sat down next to me, because I was sitting, like, by the stairs backstage, and he was like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. He was like, you seem really distracted when we're rehearsing, and I was like, I'm tired, I haven't been sleeping well. He was like, you should get some sleep. And then he patted me. And I was like, man, what is wrong with you? Bipolar. Really bipolar. And then junior year, we didn't have any more classes. And then he got a girlfriend, that too. And then stopped talking to me entirely. And then anytime he sees me now, he just insults me. And we're not friends anymore. And yeah, I give that like a 1 out of 5. Because what is wrong with you, man? Please fix your problems. You're not an alpha male. You're not Patrick Bateman. And if you were, that's just weird. Christian Bale said it himself. I don't know if that's true, though. I don't know if he actually said that. He said that, like, people who, like, liked American Psycho and, like, that stuff were, like, weird or something like that. I don't know what he said. Like, I don't know. He just said he thought it was weird. And I agree with him. But yeah, I just think men are just really annoying, and I don't like them. Number 3. Well, technically number 4. I talked about this already in a video where I was rating my teachers. I said ranking at the beginning of that video, but English is not my first language, guys, contrary to popular belief. I was born in America. I don't know why. People assume that because Spanish was my first language, they assume either A, I wasn't born here, or B, my English isn't good. Sometimes I forget words, but I also forget words in Spanish. That's the problem of being bilingual. And, whatever. That's the point. So this teacher, my physics teacher, my junior year, I hated that man so much because he's, like, such a child, literally so immature, and he's, like, oh, like, I'm not a good person, guys. He literally said that himself, like, towards the beginning of the year. He's like, but whatever, you know, because I'm not a good person. Yeah, I get it. You cheated on your wife with one of the teachers who was, like, 20 years younger than you, but whatever. And, So I don't know if that's true, but apparently it is. I don't know. So yeah, whatever. And yeah, so one time it was just like he was just so annoying and he was really immature, and I was like, I can tell that you're not a man and you're a boy and like acting like trying to act like a man, and you're not man because first of all, the moment you cheated on your wife tells me all I need to know. So anyway, like I said, this one time we were taking a test, and he was so like I called him a bag of bones because he was so literally looking at a walking skeleton. That's what he looked like, and it was a little bit concerning. I won't lie to you. And low key, he was a bit of a suicide risk, especially when he started acting more cheerful. Cause yeah, but whatever. And no, that's actually, please guys, we need to take care of our friends. So anyway. I was taking the test, right? And I had told my mom. I always tell my mom when I'm taking a test. I actually have a close relationship with my parents. Yes, I have problems like all people do, but I have a pretty close relationship with my parents. And I called my mom. I was like, oh, I have a physics test today. And I barely passed that class, let's be honest here. Didn't know what I was doing. Just got lucky. And then I was taking the test. I was in the middle of a test. And he gets like a call from the office that my mom's here. And I was like, oh my goodness, I'm not done with the test though. And I was like, he was like, oh, your mom's here to pick you up. And I was like, do I just leave the test? And do you want... I'm editing that video, and just to clarify, I did not say it in that tone. I asked, do I leave the test? Because I was scared, and adult men in general just really scare me. I don't know what this man does. Doesn't even answer, just goes, Sir, you're the teacher. You're supposed to know. And I was like, but obviously I'm not going to be, he's the one who wants to act like a little boy, like a little toddler. Okay, then I'll be the adult in this situation, even though it should be the other way around, if anything. Okay, I mean, I don't mean like I should act like a toddler, but like he should be the adult in this situation, not me. And so I was like, can I go outside and call my mom and ask her to wait for me? And he was like, sure. And I was like, okay. Left the room, called. Oh, and the thing is, there was a really big problem that day because he had found out that a lot of people were cheating on his tests, which was hilarious because I'm like, how did you not notice? And I mean, it must be really disappointing to realize that you're actually a sucky teacher and people have to resort to cheating. So I went outside, I called my mom, I was like, in Spanish, right? I was like, oh, el maestro sí está bien como molesto. Not with me, obviously. Oh, sorry. Let me translate that because some of you guys don't speak Spanish. I was like, oh, the teacher's already kind of annoyed. And not because of me. It was just because of the whole cheating scandal. Not his cheating scandal. The other cheating scandal. I bet he got deja vu. That's why. Oh, my God. The irony is crazy. I just realized that. So... she was like, okay, I'll wait for you. She was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, no, it's fine. It's okay. Like, just let me finish the test and I'll go. And I was like, when he was like, oh, is she going to let you finish the test? And I was like, yes, she is. And then I finished the test. Did I pass? Not really. But who cares? I low-key BS the whole thing, and then I turned it in, and I was like, can I go? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, bye. Literally, the man looked like he was about to cry. And I honestly felt a little bit bad, but I was also like, no, you're immature, and you're emo, and you're, like, all acting like trying to make everyone feel bad for you because you cheated on your wife. You're the one who cheated. I feel worse for her. I'm not a good person, guys. I don't care. So, yeah, I give that a 1 out of 5 because that was a grown man, too. Excuse me? Number 4, this is from my sophomore year as well. There was this other guy. Let's name him... let's name him Gale from the Hunger Games because that's what he reminds me of, Gale. My sophomore year when we were doing the play, I had this specific scene with 2 of the cops, and one of those cops was my friend, so I was grateful for that because I was like, yeah, I got to work with my friend. But the other cop was Gale, and he was annoying. I didn't like him. He was just really annoying. He was like freshman year when we had to do our monologues. He was all like bragging about how he didn't memorize his monologue, and I was like, that's not something to brag about. That you don't know your lines, that you're not prepared. That's not something to brag about. This kid did the same thing for our children's theater play. He was like, he wasn't memorizing his lines. He was just kind of like improvising, trying to like, you know, be some like cool kid, and it wasn't working out for him. And when we did our rehearsal, like a full run through of the play, he messed up. He didn't say a line, and it was a line that I needed, and it wasn't even something that I could just like keep going without that line. No, I needed that line in order to continue. He didn't say it, so I couldn't continue. And then he just stared at me, and then I just stared at him, and then it got really awkward because we were performing. A good thing is it was a rehearsal, and I got really mad because after that, like, I was like fine that I was like, okay, whatever, you messed it up for me, I'll get over it, it's fine. What made me mad was the fact that afterwards he was blaming it on me. Because the next day he was like, oh, it was because of Streptococcus, which was my character's name. Sorry. and sometimes I have the mentality of a 12-year-old boy. See, if I was a man, I would be on this list. I'm just saying. That's not a brag. That's not like something to brag about. I'm actually disappointed in myself. But whatever. So, I'm actually really grateful I'm not a man because of that. But, yeah, he kept blaming it on me, and I was like, it was not my fault. You couldn't memorize your line. And he kept going, oh, yeah. And then he called me stupid. Not, like, to my face, but to my character's face. So apart from the fact that he couldn't memorize his lines, he really liked improvising. And there was this part of the play where I cast the wrong spell. And my character casts the wrong spell because she's a fairy godmother. And everyone's like, oh, you cast the wrong spell, because I cast the spell to like have the two characters tell the truth, and instead everyone on the stage is telling the truth. And like they all start like yelling at me, and like there's like scripted lines of what they're supposed to say to me. And instead of telling me his scripted line, this kid goes, oh, you're so stupid. And I was like, oh my God, you did not just call me stupid. I don't care if that was an improvised line. It felt personal because you were literally just blaming your mistake on me. And I got mad. I was like, oh, hell no, honey, And then the next day, he realized that he actually I don't know. No. Was it the next day? No, that same day, I was really upset because I had just got my period as well. So I was like already like hormonal, like really upset. And that was like the last straw for me. And I got really mad and I started crying. And I had to call my mom so she could come pick me up because I felt really upset. And, I never thought I'd cry over a man like that in my life and whatever. Then I think the next week, he told my friend that who was his main co-star, to help him memorize his lines. And me being petty, I went up to him and I was like, oh, good, you can memorize your lines now so you can stop blaming your mistakes on other people. And then he was like, and then we started arguing. I was low-key disappointed in myself for this. Started arguing. I got ready to fight this guy. And then my friend had to pull us apart and stop us because it was gonna get heated. 1 out of 5. Would not recommend. And then one of my friends actually, because I was still really upset, she was like, it wasn't your fault, right? And I was like, yeah, I know. And she was like, then why are you mad about it? Why are you mad at him? But she was like, then why are you arguing about it if you know it wasn't your fault? And I was like, you have such a good point. So yeah. I've held that grudge against him since then because he's also very bipolar with him. I don't have very many interactions with him. Very few interactions with that guy. We're not friends. We're not close. But, anytime I interact with him, I never know what to expect. Because sometimes he'll be nice to me. Sometimes he'll, one time my junior year, he called me smart. He was like, hey, you're really smart. Could you help me with this? It was a math problem. I was like, oh, thanks. Anyway, sometimes he would hold the door open for me, And then, sometimes he tried to have a friendly conversation with me because we had Spanish class together, and it was this weird, a different story, a different day. And then other times, when my teacher made me, I didn't volunteer, present my story circle, even though he had asked to go. He'd be like, oh, yeah, I was going to do my story circle yesterday, but I had to present while I was walking into my Spanish class, and he was literally talking to this kid who could not care less who I was. And I was like, oh, you're blaming another thing that wasn't my fault on me. So yeah, very immature guy. Has a lot of problems. Definitely needs help. So yeah, that's all I can think of at the moment. So, won't be the last of it because men are crazy. Unfortunately, I'm attracted to men. That's a good thing, right? Like, that's fine. I just think some of them have really bad attitudes. So, thank you for watching this video. If anyone did, I don't know. I hope you all have a good day, and may the Lord bless you, and if you don't believe in him, may he still bless you nonetheless. Goodbye.